How's it, guys? So this is our first YouTube video to take you guys through our process of immigration, explain to you guys a bit more what we did, the process we went through, some of the questions people asked on Cass's Instagram, and yeah, we'll be doing it outdoors because we are literally like 10 days away from
Tomorrow
flying.
will be a week.
Yeah, tomorrow's a week from flying to Ireland, Dublin. So yeah, we're just appreciating the nice weather here while we can.
Yeah, so I had a whole bunch of people ask me questions on Instagram. We did read through those questions and just sort of get an idea of what everyone wanted to know. There were a lot of questions on like how did you start the process, like what paperwork, like how did you basically start the process. So I think that's the first thing that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, so the process, how we initially got into it is I've got my family's Portuguese descendant and all of that, so I basically got my European citizenship and Portuguese ID and passports that automatically qualifies me to travel anywhere in Europe that I want to. So yeah, it's been quite a process when it comes to getting all your documents and stuff, I would say. I used quite a few people. Cass actually helped me, like I didn't have a lot of time on my hands to contact these people, like Speedy Document Services and a few other people that helped us get like unabridged birth certificates and all of those things to send it through to the consulate to actually get the process going.
Yeah, so the first step would probably be, depending on what process you are going through, if it's the EU passport, would probably be getting all your documents through Home Affairs, unfortunately. So we started with getting like unabridged birth certificates, what else? Just getting, the correct documents from Home Affairs. Marriage certificates, yes, that was a very important thing, because Dylan is an EU citizen and I am on a South African passport. We would need a unabridged marriage certificate in order for me to be accepted as immigrating into Ireland, so that's very important if you are going that route. But one of the reasons why we did choose Ireland is, well, Dylan does obviously have a Portuguese passport, which allows you to go to, I think it's like 27 or something countries in Europe. And when we started this process, we were like, should we go to the UK? Should we go to Canada? But we realized it's easiest for us to get into Ireland, and obviously it's also an English-speaking country. So that is one of the main reasons why we decided on Ireland.
Yeah, look, the process has been over 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
So it's been quite some time. It was like a big step for me to go, listen, you know, I have a stable job, I have all of that this side, you know, are we going to take the step to go overseas? And the first indication was where I actually applied for a job and they contacted me like directly after I applied for the job. And that was like just a trial run. It was about a year ago, just to see like what would happen if I send anything through. But obviously they asked me if I have my passports and all of that ready, which I didn't have by the time, and I just left it a bit. But just to give you guys like a slight idea of salary wise, I mean for positions that I'm busy with now, you get paid, geez, if we calculate it, it's like what, 6 times?
Yeah, but it depends on what career you're in. Obviously, if you're doing something like if you're a lawyer or a psychologist or whatever, obviously that would be a higher salary.
Yeah.
But it is higher salaries in Ireland. But then also their rent and stuff like that is also higher there.
Yeah.
So yeah, another one of the questions was like, how do you get a job, stuff like that. So it is one of those things where if you are fortunate enough, like Dylan, to have a EU citizenship or passport, then you can leave South Africa, you can get there, you can arrive there without a job, you don't need a job, and you can apply, and there is an abundance of jobs there, so it's not difficult. But obviously if you're not fortunate enough, you have to do a whole other process. But for us, that was our process. And for me, I can also get a job once I have applied for my stamp 4, which can take 4 to 6 weeks depending on where I apply, and then I can also just freely work in Ireland.
Yeah, look, the jobs there, like, there's abundance of jobs, and to get a job there is super fast. So that's also depending on your qualifications that you have. I noticed they look a bit more into experience than actually looking into what you studied or anything like that. So reason being, if you come from South Africa, some jobs, the qualifications that you get, say for instance you study by university or so on, and you go overseas, not necessarily that it won't count, they don't accept it kind of there. So it's just a bit, it's different to what you'll get here in SA when you apply for a job and so on. Look, in Ireland there's a big housing problem. So when it comes to housing and those type of stuff, like, try and get your PPS number first. When you apply for a job, any job you get, ask them for your PPS number, because you're going to struggle with getting, if you're a big family or you have dogs and those type of stuff, get the process going, because I know dogs also, to take them that side is quite hefty. I think a small dog is something like 30,000.
It depends what route you take. If you're taking using an agency or whatever, it can cost more. If you're doing it like on your own, not through an agency, it can cost like 10,000 rand per dog. It just depends on what process you do. But also another thing, so we did actually get a question about qualifications, like Dylan said. And so obviously if you're going, like I said, if you're going into a career like law, or if you want to be a doctor, then obviously you need to study, you have to have that degree. You can't just go on experience, you need to have that degree. But I mean stuff like, if you're doing like social media marketing, if you're doing stuff that you don't necessarily need a degree for, or anything like that, then they do look at more experience.
They do look at the companies you worked for. So they will be checking like where you worked, what type of work you do, reference, they're gonna phone the people that you worked with, and all of those type of things. So you need to have all your stuff, like, and have a well-written CV also. Get someone professional to help you to write your CV and so on. And then second thing, total honesty, we didn't work through any agency or anything like that. We did everything ourselves. If you really want to get overseas, you're gonna work to get stuff done. We phoned people literally like every single day to get our documents, like just following up. And also with flights and those type of stuff, we booked our own flights. My cousin and them, they're actually coming also. They're going overseas, and his wife, she was like searching, and then eventually she got all of our flights in one package, and I think we paid for 4 flights, something like 22,000 rand. So it's not bad when it comes to the flights, one-way flights, and it's Qatar. So you fly from here, land in Doha, 2.5 hour layover, and then you fly to Dublin. And then money wise, we went through everything, and we've seen people that go with, they like, no, can't go. Look, if you have a budget, I would say minimum amount to take over, just due to the euro rate, exchange rate, to be fine, I would say anywhere between 150 to 200,000 rand.
Yeah, and I think that's for maybe like 2 people. Obviously if you're going on your own, it is different, and that's also taking into consideration that you need to have a deposit for your rental, or and also because obviously I can't work for 4 to 6 weeks. You need to be able to take over money to support yourselves, and just for all the utilities and that you're going to be using. And also another important thing for rentals that we have seen, obviously we haven't experienced it yet because we're not there yet, is because of the shortage, people tend to do like CVs for your rental and also providing references. So that's obviously not something that we do in South Africa. You don't really need a reference to rent somewhere. So what we've done is I contacted our landlord and I said, please can I have a reference just for us living here, and they sent a very nice letter, just saying that we pay on time, that we're very polite and those sorts of things. And then when we do apply for a rental in Ireland, we will have a whole CV with our references, just so that the people know that we are good tenants, and we're hopeful that it will help us get one sooner.
Look, and also when it comes to your European citizenship, what I forgot to tell you guys is if you have family that's of European descendants or whatever, if it's your grandmother, your grandfather, or anyone in that line that comes from Europe, anywhere in Europe, doesn't matter where, we'll suggest someone for you guys to contact that can help you with your documentation and stuff. So it's a process that you go through. Say for instance your grandfather has a European citizenship, he applies, then they register him, he gets his passport, his ID, then your mother register passport, ID, and then obviously your father, he gets his automatically like casted, and then only then you can. If a family member died, same story, you still need to register them, you need to go through the process. But yeah, look, in total I think to get all of our stuff done with the European citizenship and all of that, it cost us about like what, 30, close to 30,000.
I don't know, maybe like 15 to 20 so far.
More or less there.
That was for like paying people to help us get documents from Home Affairs, because they wouldn't print the correct documents for Dylan to get his registration and all that stuff done. Plus obviously you have to pay the consulate that you're going to get your passport, to do registration, to do your ID and all that sort of stuff. So if that is something that you can do, if you can look at your family tree and you can say, okay, well, I can get a Dutch passport or whatever, then obviously that's something that we would recommend doing. It is worth it. It makes the process
and you
easier.
can travel. I mean, it's like when you're that side, you earn euros and all of that. We have a lot of friends that side now, in Dublin itself, that also family members that's been traveling and so on. Just excuse the sound at the back. It's actually another reason why we're leaving SA, because of Eskom.
It's the sound of generators in the back.
Lovely. We love that sound, So yeah, we're gonna take you guys more into depth about how much things cost and so on, because there's a lot of people that they're so finicky about it. They're like, oh no, I don't want to speak about finances or anything like that. Just be open and realistic to the people, because I don't think a lot of people have a idea of what things actually cost immigrating. For instance, like we taking a moving cube with, it's like 15,000 rand for medium sized cube, and then obviously there's fees and stuff extra that come through where we can actually tell the people, listen, this is how much it actually costs. Where we've seen a few other podcasts and so on where people don't actually explain the costs of how much things actually cost.
Which is something we wanted to know. Like, we wanted to be prepared for how much we need to save, how much we need to take over to be okay. And also, so initially when we decided on Ireland, we joined a Facebook group called, I think it's South Africans moving to Ireland. You can search it on Facebook and then they'll accept you. There's a whole bunch of posts on information. There's a whole website that you can, I think you pay like 30 euros or something like that. And there's a whole bunch of information about basically everything that there is moving to Ireland. But obviously we still we still want to give people a better view on the cost of it, because people just like to tiptoe around that.
You can actually apply on that group. I think it's like €10. And they give you like a whole like thing where you can get information about documentation and all of those type of stuff.
There's like checklists to do before you go. There's budgets on like how much food and utilities and that will cost.
It's like a whole
month.
spreadsheet they give you, and you can actually like load the amount of money you have, and then it calculates it and then gives you a ballpark figure of how much things will cost and all of that.
And then also obviously on there for me, applying for a stamp 4, there's a whole bunch of different stamps on there that has all the information on it. It's basically like a visa, but they just call it a stamp. On there it will also, like, you can click on a link, it'll take you to the Irish website where you need to print out this form. It shows you like a rough draft of the form and all of that. So it's actually a very, very good Facebook group to join, and I would recommend that. That's helped us immensely in this process. Any question you have, people have asked it on the group, or there's already a whole blog or page about it on there.
And also when it comes to getting a car that side, I would suggest buying something cheap for the beginning, like anywhere between 3,000 to 6,000 euros, depending how much money you're taking over. You can get something decent that side. However, all of the Ireland's cars, that side, is high mileage. I don't know where those guys drive those cars, but shit, you get cars with like 400,000 Ks on, and then it's like a 2018, 2019 car. But however, the cars do get serviced. It's much safer to buy there than in South Africa, where people just, they bullshit you and they give you a shitty car. And yeah, that's about it. Like food wise, we're not too fussy with food and that, so we're going over to actually try out everything that's new. If you are very fussy about food and you prefer your South African food, good luck. There is places there, but you're going to pay a shitload of money. You're going to pay, our family that side paid like €60, and that was for like not even 6-7 items of South African stuff, like cream soda. You don't get cream soda there. Our type of cream soda, Mrs. Ball's chutney,
Mrs. Ball's.
Mrs. Ball's, So it's just, we're trying to like take you guys through the process, and we'll take you guys through the whole process of us actually on the flight at the airport. We're going to document everything for you guys and show you guys how everything works and how it is in Dublin, and the people there, the pubs, the beer, everything. We're going to document everything for you guys, because the first week we basically just going to explore, apply for jobs. Well, I'm applying now. I would suggest you get there and apply before you go, like I did now. I've got 6 interviews coming up now of jobs that I'm happy with, that I'm like, geez, it's really good salaries and all of that. So I'm just keeping my options open when it comes to jobs, to have like a variety where you can choose, not due to salary but due to location, because location, a second thing, Cass will tell you guys about how Dublin compared to Lahinch or Cork or Galway or Kilkenny. I can go on with a lot of places. But she'll explain to you guys what's there.
So we have done a lot of research, and we've also spoken to people and seen posts on that Facebook group. So Dublin, like we said, there is, as a whole, there is a housing crisis and shortage in Ireland. So places like Dublin, where it's like the hub of the city centre, where there's like lots of businesses and stuff, your rent is at absurd amounts. Like I'm talking 1,700 euros for a 1-bedroom apartment, and you can go and calculate that for yourself, and that's not even like, you have to pay for your deposit as well. So that's in Dublin, that's for a 1-bedroom. Okay, then we go to places like Kilkenny and Galway and Wexford, like places that are more
countryside.
And you'll see you can get maybe like a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom house for the same price as Dublin. But obviously yeah, the salaries and stuff in Dublin are higher. That's what draws people there. But then also you get places like Cork, where there's probably, I did a search yesterday for apartments. There was 23 apartments in the whole of Cork, and I'm talking the whole of Cork to rent. That's like furnished apartments.
But then bear in mind, like, and I try and explain this to people that have the logic about, because we have friends that stay in Dublin our age, and you know, it's you can stay countryside and say, yes, you know, I'm gonna get a house in the country. That's if you're not taking any furniture or anything. You're gonna have to furnish the house firstly, because the way they furnish houses is a bit weird. Okay, it's not South African. It's, you can see it's European. It is different. It's totally different. It's not something we used to, depending on your taste, you know. But if you're looking for something modern, Dublin stuff is stunning. It is absolutely insane. But yeah, in the countryside and that, it's a bit different. I would suggest you then take your own furniture with a container with.
Bearing in mind that the container can take maybe 6 months to arrive there.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. You might arrive in Ireland, you might find a place that's not furnished yet, like, oh, that's so nice, and then you end up living and sleeping on an air mattress for like 6 months because you don't want to buy furniture because your furniture's on its way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a catch-22, where it's like you're gonna either have to stay in an Airbnb, stay at family, or
yeah, look, if you're 2 people or you're even 4 people, we calculated for 4 people you'll pay around 15,000. You just live outside the city side, and you'll pay around 15,000 per couple.
Rand.
15,000 rand per couple for a month, and it's really not bad. 15 grand, it's nothing, you know. So it's not too bad when it comes to if you want to stay in a bed and breakfast, which I would suggest. But I mean, if you guys are immigrating and you decide, listen, we want to come to Ireland, shoot us a message, chat with us, we'll help you guys. If you want to come over, come check it out, more than happy to meet up with you guys and take you guys through it.
Yeah, and if there's any other questions that we didn't answer, because obviously we didn't have the questions in front of us, we kind of just had a rough idea of what everyone was asking, just let us know, ask us a question. Maybe there's enough questions for us to do another video, or we'll just reply to your question if it's a DM or whatever you feel comfortable with, just because there is a lot of information you want to get. We understand. We've asked so many questions, like,
Jeez.
it's not even funny.
The people that we asked, we apologize, because we have asked you guys probably 2 million times the same question just to make sure that it's correct. But yeah, like, message us, chat with us. We are to take you guys through the process. I think with everything happening lately, it's a good move for people to go overseas. I'll show you guys, even if I started my new job and all of that, I'll show you guys how it looks like, and we'll take you guys through everything and just show you guys, you know, our whole process, where we're going to stay, the city side, and you know, we're going to take you guys through everything. So like and subscribe our channel. It's our first video, so all of you just do it right now, and we'll take you guys through the whole process. Ciao.
Bye.